All right. Good evening. The time is now 6 p.m. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Mayor Stephanie Dalton.
Here.
Vice Mayor Holly Berry.
Here.
Commissioner Jamie Fairbanks Harvey.
Here.
Commissioner Terry Holmes.
Here.
Commissioner Hayes Wilkinson.
I'm here.
Thank you. And for today's invocation, please join me in a moment of silence to reverently collect our thoughts, pray, and ready ourselves for this meeting and the duties to which we have been called. Okay, thank you. Well, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Granum, will you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now for my mayor's report. Welcome, everyone. In celebration of Earth Day, Northside Neighborhood House will have a donation truck in the Food City parking lot here in Red Bank this Friday, April 4th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They'll be accepting items that are gently used and in good condition. This effort will help reduce waste and support neighbors in need. Save the date for our annual Red Bank citywide cleanup on Earth Day, Saturday, April 26th from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. As usual, we'll be partnering with Green Steps. We'll be meeting near the Be Caffeinated here in Red Bank to get refreshments and supplies before heading out to clean up the city. Also save the date for Dirty Jane's Antiques Spring Flea event. It is going to be held in their parking lot at Dirty Jane's also on April 26th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And lastly, as Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey mentioned in our work session, the Hamilton County Property Assessor's Office is sending out reassessment notices. I received mine yesterday. In case you missed it, Marty Haynes, the property assessor, has stated that property values went up an average of 60% across Hamilton County this year, in contrast to 26% in 2021. If you feel your reassessment is inaccurate, you can contest it with the Hamilton County Property Assessor's Office. There's a website you can access at sales.hamiltontn.gov that shows you which property sales comps were used to evaluate your reassessed value, although there is no indication what method they used with that data. And depending on which comps you opt to include when you're reviewing the site's data for your property, you will get a different reassessed value every time. So I would strongly encourage all of you to take a deeper look once you receive your letter from the property assessor's office. There is a deadline by which you must contact the property assessor's office to dispute your reassessed value, which is included in your letter. For any questions, you can reach them at 423-209-7990. And all of that is also included in your reassessment letter. And now we have Vice Mayor Berry's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank our Parks and Rec Department for another successful S'mores and Sounds event this past Friday. I look forward to, with great anticipation, to our next community event, our first Food Truck Friday of the season on the Friday after next, Friday, April 11th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Red Bank City Park. I, for one, am looking forward to the peace and quiet thanks to our new municipal quiet hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And while we're at it, I wanted to take this opportunity to notify everyone that I have submitted a request to Google Maps to rename the city of Chattanooga the Gulf of Red Bank. And shout out to Summer Sheldon, our public relations professional, and I hope you all thoroughly enjoy April Fool's Day.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Next, we have a report from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey.
Good evening. Thanks for being here. Active Older Adults program offers a variety of classes and activities at the Joe Glasscock Community Center. Classes include chair yoga, guided exercise, mindful drawing, qigong, and acrylic painting. And I've had several friends participate in the painting, and it's very appreciated. See the calendar on the Parks, Trails, and Recreation Department at redbanktn.gov. Blood Assurance is continually encouraging Hamilton County residents and anyone who has blood anywhere to step up to the plate and donate blood. Donating blood or platelets is a lifeline to many people who are a one-time recipient or multiple units of blood. I personally give once every 8 weeks. It's baby blood. It goes to cancer patients. It's unbelievable what you can do to help a fellow person. Go to one of the area sites or the Blood Mobile. Make a difference in someone's lives. You can save 3 lives with 1 donation. Bloodassurance.org. The crosswalk that intersects Ashmore Avenue North and Memorial Drive is progressing. Thank you, Director Tate. With ADA sidewalk and the street marking, several residents in the area are appreciative for the pedestrian. I know it's going to be adding a few other items, but the safety zone and the awareness. I may stand at the corner and hand out papers and say, no, we're crossing the street, slow down on Memorial. We do have a difficulty with speeding around here. Thank you, Public Works. And lastly, the next Listen and Learn will be Monday, April 21st at Sabor from 6 to 7 p.m. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we have a report from Commissioner Holmes.
So looking at economic development, it supports the revenue streams for the city. This may require rezoning, zoning changes, sign and building ordinances, and increased safety measures. Please support local businesses like the remodeled Gulf Station and Power Square in the north end of town. Please email me or other commissioners with ideas for businesses you would like to see or have in Red Bank. Consider going into business here in Red Bank with friends, neighbors, or family members. Shop locally, even if a small amount or a few times a month. Did you know that our food city is our top source of sales tax revenue? So shopping here in Red Bank does make a difference. Invite others to Red Bank events like our Food Truck Fridays coming up soon. Remember to check the City of Red Bank website, subscribe to the newsletter, and visit our City of Red Bank social media for the latest on Red Bank events and updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And finally, our report from Commissioner Wilkinson.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Excuse me. The grand opening for the Bicycle Traffic Safety Garden is on April 9th. If you don't know what that is, it's located at 4839 Dayton Boulevard next to Fire Station number 2. It's a protected area for kids or adults to learn how to ride a bike. There's a small child-sized road network painted on the ground with traffic signs, yield signs, lanes. It's very cool. My children love it. But on April 9th, there will be a ribbon cutting at 5:45 for the grand opening. Following at 6 p.m., there's a bicycle rodeo for kids under 14. And at the bike rodeo, kids can learn how to properly fit a helmet, do a quick ABC check on their bike, play fun games to improve their bike handling skills, and learn the rules of the road in a safe and controlled space. You can sign up for the bike rodeo. It is free on the city's website. If you go to Public Works, Parks and Rec, it will take you to Rec Desk where you can sign up. Thank you, guys.
Excellent. Thank you. Next, we have our city manager's report. Mr. Granum.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners, and thank you very much. Our April newsletter dropped today, and wow, it's packed with good stuff. Our headline feature is a beautiful piece from Mayor Dalton. And I'll add a thank you, Mayor, for your praise of the work that staff are doing. It's much appreciated. Very kind words. Thank you. Also, in our packed newsletter, there's some pictures from our ribbon cutting at the just completed community center, a playground restroom. A special shout out to the local general contractor Bolt Builders, and also a special shout out to the Red Bank Sod and Daisy Charitable Foundation, which helped us pay for that, a new community asset. It's just beautiful. If it's possible to get excited about a restroom facility, I'm very excited about that restroom. I might be belying my roots as a civil engineer. Also in the newsletter, there is seasonal security and safety tips from our police and firefighter superstars. There's a long list of events and activities. Many of them have been mentioned already, including the volunteer cleanup, the upcoming Jubilee. It's almost May time, believe it or not. And also in the newsletter is information on the first ever upcoming Red Bank Cemetery Decoration Day. So check out the newsletter. There's also information and pictures about the traffic garden. Special shout out to our community partner at White Oak Bike Co-op for partnering with the city formally in a written agreement to operate that amenity. And there's also an outstanding update from your Director of Public Works, Greg Tate, on all the capital projects that are in flight. So please check out this month's newsletter. You'll be rewarded for your efforts. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank Director Tate for helping me with some information that was included in my article in the newsletter. So thank you, sir. All right, our first item of business is a temporary adjournment. However, I see that the applicant is not here.
Texting Jeffrey, he's going to be here.
Okay.
Table it.
Well, do I have a motion to table this item to see if the applicant arrives? I'll move. Okay, motion to table from Vice Mayor Barry. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. All in favor?
Aye.
Should I
Right.
text the applicant?
Motion to table carries. We will move on to our next order of business,
Are
our
tabling it till like, the end of.
till the end of the meeting, yes. Agenda, regular meeting agenda. All right, moving on to our consent agenda containing consideration of the minutes for approval or correction for March 18th work session, March 18th commission meeting, as well as resolution 25-1781, authorizing the service agreement with CARTA, resolution 25-1782, authorizing our annual audit with Johnson Murphy and Wright, resolution number 25-1783, authorizing an agreement with Action Fence Company, and resolution number 25-1784, resolution to proclaim April 13 through 19 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Are there any items that the board wants removed to the regular agenda for further discussion?
Can I ask a question? Mr. Granum, were you planning on reading the body of the First Responders Day?
I'd be glad to if that's appropriate.
Okay, so I'll pull that item out and we'll put that at the end of the agenda. So item E. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
I'll move.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Wilkinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second from Vice Mayor Barry. Any discussion? Any comments from the residents present? Okay, there are no more comments. Let's call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. It appears that the beer board applicant is on his way, so hopefully he'll be here before we get to the end of our agenda.
A lot of rezonings.
We have no unfinished business, so moving on to new business. Item A, ordinance number 25-1275, an ordinance of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee to amend the fiscal year 2025 operating budget beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30, 2025 in order to appropriate unbudgeted expenditures and grant funding for the general fund in the amount of $376,615.50 and for the solid waste fund in the amount of $232,000. First reading. Director Perry.
Again, this ordinance is to appropriate funding of items that were budgeted in the past but didn't make it through the process, and they are now in the process, and we need to pay for them.
Okay, excellent. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Holmes. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? Okay, if there are no comments, Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry?
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey?
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries on first reading. Moving on to item B, public hearing and first reading of ordinance number 25-1276, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, amending the zoning ordinance and zoning maps to rezone property located at 309 Midvale Avenue from R1 residential to RTZ residential, townhouse, 0 lot line. First reading. Mr. Pham?
Thank you, Commissioners. The rezonings for 309 and 313 Midvale are being requested in order to subdivide and construct 6 single-family detached houses. The 313 property is currently the site of an unoccupied, dilapidated house. The proposed project would trigger the requirement of the steep slope ordinance to provide slope stabilization plans for areas that exceed the permitted land disturbance. The RTZ zone requires a 10-foot landscape buffer between the proposed project and the surrounding R1 properties. The Midvale Heights apartments to the east are significantly denser. The Pavilion townhomes to the west are approximately 8 dwelling units per acre. The proposed project would be approximately 6 units per acre, which is well within the permitted density of the RTZ development standards. The proposed project would include the construction of a detention pond towards the rear of the lot and the lowest point of the site. Because the project proposes a subdivision into multiple lots, plans will need to be approved by Hamilton County Water Quality. The applicant plans to request a front yard setback variance in order to minimize the amount of steep slope land disturbance. If the rezoning is approved, the request for variance will go to the Board of Zoning Appeals at their next regular meeting. The proposed project could be considered a transitionary housing type between the nearby multifamily units and the nearby single-family units. The site is approximately a quarter mile from the Dayton Boulevard Commercial Corridor and approximately 1/2 mile from the White Oak Connector Trail and White Oak Park. The Planning Commission made comments about the sharp left turning portion of Midvale Avenue West and proposed additional signage on the road to caution speed. There are no right-of-way signage requirements stated in the zoning ordinance for rezoning requests, but this suggestion could be considered for a future roadway improvement. At that same meeting, the Planning Commission unanimously recommended the rezoning. And I do need to make a comment that the zoning ordinance as it is right now will need to be amended to add a signature line because the applicant is the consultant and not the owner, which I think is sometimes been done on rezoning ordinances.
So can we vote on it as is?
Apparently, that's what we've been doing for some time. So yes, we can.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we didn't catch it in the planning commission, then
Okay,
we're gonna.
it will be corrected for the next vote.
Yes.
Okay,
What's the name of the applicant?
Mr. Ingram Moore and Associates.
is the
Yes.
applicant present?
The applicant is present if
Okay.
you have any questions.
Okay. First I'll get a motion. Do I have a motion to approve?
Do we need to make a motion to?
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to hold the public hearing first. Apologies. I will now open it up for our public hearing. If there are any citizens present who wish to give comments, now is the time to do so. Please approach the podium, give your name and address. Okay, there are no comments. We will now close the public hearing. And I will ask for a motion to approve.
Do we need an amended motion to correct the name? Okay, can you, Ingram, Gordon and Associates, is that correct?
That's the applicant.
So the signature line that needs to be added to the document is for the owner to sign. The applicant is the consultant that the owner has hired to do the project.
Could someone provide me with the appropriate language for the motion?
To approve this on the first language, we would amend the Amend the ordinances drafted to show, I'm terrible with names.
That the applicant,
Ingram, Gordon and Associates.
Yeah, as the applicant have applied to the planning commission and the city commission to rezone it instead of Sergei Lyashevsky, which is what's written in the ordinance present. Right?
I make a motion to that effect.
thank you, Vice Mayor Barry.
Well spoken.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
With a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Is there any further discussion, or does anyone have any questions for the applicant who is present?
Will the townhomes be available for sale or for rent?
For sale.
Thank you.
Excellent. I will say, I'll just make a comment. If you all have not been up there recently, actually, I'm sorry, this is pertaining to the next address, but the structure that is currently there is severely dilapidated. So this will be a great improvement to that area. Okay, if there are no further comments from the board, any comments from the residents present, even though we just had a public hearing? If not, Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
Motion carries on first reading. Moving on to item C, public hearing and first reading of ordinance number 25-1277, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, amending the zoning ordinance and zoning maps to rezone property located at 313 Midvale Avenue from R1 residential to RTZ residential townhouse /0 lot line. First reading. Mr. Pham. Thank you.
Would you like to read my notes all over again? Okay. Yeah,
You
they'll-
can just summarize.
Sure, yeah, they'll be dissolving the current lot line, and those two addresses will just be split into 6 different lots.
The sixth
So it's the same proposed project.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve
We need separate public
an
hearings for each
amended?
one?
I'm sorry?
Do we need separate public hearings for each
Mhm.
one?
Yes. Do I have a motion?
You need to do
Public
public
hearing
hearing.
first.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much.
Just like we did first with the applicant.
But we have to have the public hearing first. We will open it. Thank you for bearing with us. We will open it up for the public hearing. If there are any citizens who have comments to make, please approach the podium, give your name and address for the record. Okay, there are no comments. Do I have a motion to approve
I think
with an amendment pertaining to the applicant's name?
Mr. Stolz, are you working on the wording for that?
I'm working on the word for the ownership change.
Okay,
So you can do the same thing again.
okay.
Appropriate amendment to properly reflect the name of the applicant.
All right, I make a motion to approve, appropriately amending the ordinance as we did with the previous ordinance to correctly reflect the applicant's name.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Barry, do I have a second?
I will second.
Second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion or questions of the applicant?
I just want to say thank you for being interested in making an investment in our community. And I've seen you here before, so thank you for coming back.
I think I've been my client for 20 years, and I didn't think this pronunciation was made my brother. I was rooting for you because I just buy a vowel.
Excellent. Okay, if no more discussion by the board, any comments from the residents present? If no comments, Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
Motion carries on first reading. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you.
You're in choir practice.
Thank you. Moving on to item D, public hearing and first reading of ordinance number 25-1278, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, amending the zoning ordinance and zoning maps to rezone property located at 1109 Dayton Boulevard from C1 commercial to C3 neighborhood commercial. First reading, Mr. Pham.
Thank you, commissioners. The rezoning for 1109 Dayton Boulevard is being requested in order to construct 28 townhome units. The proposed project would include a pool and 39 off-street parking spaces. I'm just going to skip the history. The current request is necessary because C1 does not allow townhomes while C3 does. There are a few uses allowed in the C3 that are not allowed in the C1, those being laundry establishments, drugstores, repair shops, specialty shops, stationery stores, townhomes, and condominiums. I include that note just because I think there was some concern at the planning commission that it would be spot zoning. The staff don't consider it spot zoning because the uses are so similar. They're basically the same zone. The proposed site plan would require a building separation variance from the requirement of 20 feet down to 4 feet 7 inches at the narrowest separation. The proposed site plan would also require a minimum square footage variance from 1,400 square feet to 1,264 square feet and one micro unit of 720 square feet. A parking requirement reduction was granted for the previously proposed project, but the exception is null and void due to the change of residential use, as stated in the ordinance 23-1547. At the Planning Commission, Callie Starnes, who's the president of Channel 3 News, which is a neighbor to the property, did make public comments concerning the traffic in the area and also some water main issues that the neighborhood has experienced. And she just wanted the city to know that there have been issues in the past, and she was happy to see that investment was being made at the property, but wanted to make everyone aware that there were some issues with water and traffic. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended the rezoning, and like the previous ordinance, we will need a motion to amend the ordinance as it's written to include a line for the owner's signature, because the owner and the applicant are not the same person.
Okay.
So we need to amend the applicant's name as well.
We will also need to amend the applicant's name. And the applicant is present if you have any questions. Applicant is Mike Price, or Map Engineers.
What is it? Map?
Map Engineers.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Pham. We will now open up the public hearing. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this rezoning request, you can walk up to the podium and give your name and address for the record. Do you have concerns about?
No, thank you. I'm the applicant, Mike Price, MAP Engineers. Just wanted to see if there are any questions, just to save all time. I'm happy to address those here from the mic.
Okay. I think we have to have the public hearing first.
I'm sorry, I thought we were.
Conclude the public
It
hearing.
would be appropriate for
To
him to
ask-
make his presentation.
Okay.
As a part of the public hearing. and then
Excellent.
Obtain reactions from the citizens if there are any.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Price.
Thank you. So the proposed request is to build townhomes here on this site, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Obviously, which was developed many years ago with the intent to have a retail building there on the front. However, the Great Recession and COVID, and here we are today where we find that we're in a housing crisis. So the intent has sort of shifted and moved around. At one point, they were looking at 38 apartments. But after looking at the cost of construction and looking at what they think are the housing demands and what to meet in terms of the needs in the area, they basically came back with 28 townhomes. For sale product would be a far better ability to market and sell those versus trying to do a for rent product. The parking layout that we have is essentially the same. We had 38 units. So going down to 28 units, we think will be obviously sufficient, we believe, by the time we ask for a variance. There have been discussions already with the fire marshal as it relates to variances between the buildings and those setbacks. And we think that those have been addressed and will also be addressed officially at the time that there is the variance request as it relates to that. So there is a pool area that will be provided for the members that live here in this little community. And with that, if there's any questions, happy to answer, but that's basically it in a nutshell.
Will there be some kind of HOA?
There will be an HOA as well as an inspection maintenance agreement that we have to have signed with the Hamilton County Water Quality as it relates to maintenance of the underground detention system on site that each property owner will have a equal share responsibility for.
Thank you.
With the 38 townhomes, is it divided into separate buildings? You mentioned differences in space.
So the previous was 38. We're now at 28.
28. It's
out
38 parking spots.
It is,
Okay.
the number of parking spaces that we have is actually like 47 total, but that includes some off-site parking that
47,
we're
okay.
providing in the area. So there is one building that has 10, there's one building that has 6, and then there's one building that has 11. So there are 3 separate buildings creating around that rectangular sort of shape, but they did sort of kick a little bit of an angle to give it a little bit of architectural flair as it faces frontage road.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And these will be 1 and 2 bedroom units?
There will be mainly 2-bedroom units.
Okay.
The micro unit will be a 1-bedroom unit, as that's only 720 square feet. We did provide to staff, there are some elevations and some floor plans that we provided, but basically these are 2-bedroom units.
Okay. All right.
There are 2 stories or?
There are 3 stories.
3 stories.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Price. Any comments from the residents present during this public hearing? Okay. There are no comments. We will close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We need an amended motion.
I'll move as amended in the previous 2. We've already.
Do you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, we'll go for it, yeah. You seem to have it figured out by now.
I'd like to motion to move. I'd like to motion to approve with the amendment to change the applicant's name to Mike Price, MAP Engineers, and to add a signature line for the owner. Is that appropriate, Mr. Stolz?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents? If there are no more comments, Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Barbie,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
Motion carries on first reading.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Price. Moving on to item E, resolution number 25-1784, resolution by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, to proclaim April 13 through 19, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Mr. Granum.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, and it's with great pride I read this resolution. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of law enforcement, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Hamilton County Unified Emergency Communication Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters
by monitoring their activity by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas during the calendar year 2024, Hamilton County telecommunicators aided Red Bank first responders by promptly receiving and expertly directing a total of 14,067 calls to Red Bank for assistance, of which 1,816 were related to fire and 12,251 were related to police. And whereas the Public Safety Telecommunicators of the Hamilton County Unified Emergency Communications Center have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each public safety telecommunicator has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job every day. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Commissioners of Red Bank, Tennessee hereby proclaim the week of April 13 through 19, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, and join in honoring the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and citizens safe. Resolved this first day of April 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Granum.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do I have a motion to approve?
A motion.
Motion from Commissioner Holmes. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Any further discussion aside from wanting to thank our telecommunicators for all that they do for us in our city?
You said it.
Okay. Any comments from the residents present? Okay, if there are no comments, let's call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And now we will have a temporary adjournment of our regular meeting. Ms. Perry, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Dalton,
Here.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Here.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Here.
Commissioner Holmes,
Here.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
I'm still here.
Our item for business is a beer board meeting. Jeff Schwanke, doing business as Clever Ale House LLC, has made an application for a special event beer permit to vend beer at the city-sponsored Food Truck Fridays, 7 previously established dates, and the city-sponsored Red Bank 70th anniversary celebration in June, all located at Red Bank City Park at 3817 Reading Road. Is the applicant present? You would come forward, please, Mr. Schwanke. And this is my first time doing this, I think. So have you read, understood, and agreed to follow the city's beer ordinances?
I have.
Excellent. Thank you. I know you have worked with us in the past. Happy to have you back. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Oh, second from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Any further discussion or questions of the applicant?
No, just one time.
Just one time, and there will also be ice cream, is what we understand to be true.
Oh, very nice.
There will be beer and ice cream.
But will there be beer floats?
We can probably do that.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Mr. Schwanke. Are there any comments from the residents present? Okay. If there are no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We will now reconvene our regular meeting and move on to our final item of business, citizen comments from Red Bank citizens on items not on the agenda. Mr. Granum.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time for citizen comments. Please observe these rules. Comments are limited to 3 minutes or less, and the city recorder will operate a timer visible on the dais. Please respect her direction and conclude any comments if time expires. Comments should be addressed to the board as a whole and not to a particular commissioner, the city staff, or the audience. The commission is here to listen, not to respond or engage in back and forth, so please do not expect a reply during citizen comment. At this time, citizens are invited to the podium. Please begin by stating your name and address.
Davis Goodrich, 4810 Stag Road. It's been a minute since I've been up here, so this kind of feels like the first time again. I'd just like to speak on the reappraisals and provide my experience. My home's assessment increased by 51%. I have no problem paying property taxes. However, I believe the appraisal should be fair, accurate, and transparent. While using the Compare tool at the website sales.hamiltontn.gov to find an estimated value, I struggle to achieve the same value as the county found. I have to intentionally pick what I believe are less comparable properties in square footage, build date, and stories to achieve as high of an appraisal as the county. If I choose the most, in my opinion, comparable properties, the estimated value is substantially less than the county's. These comparables include my neighbor's property, which sold at the end of 2024 for less than our current reappraisal. I appreciate the county providing this tool. However, without guidance other than choosing comparables, I am left wondering how exactly the county made its determination. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gedrin. Any further comments? All right, if not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Commissioner Holmes, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Vice Mayor Barry. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.
Gotta break the tradition.
You gotta shake it up
Maybe
a
I just
little
want to
bit.
hang around.